So then it's curious, like there's a little thing saying, okay, well, then I'm not recognizing myself as love. You see, it's like there's this judger in here saying, bad, you're being critical, you're being, whatever. And that's not love. So the curiosity is how does love recognize that it is love in every form?
Right. And, the way you recognize something is simply by directing love to it. You direct, the way you recognize what shirt you want to wear today. So you go through your closet, and then there's one. Oh, yeah. You directed enough attention to it to see, oh, that's the one. Right. So if the question is, how do you recognize love? It's this funny thing where you turn some of that attention back. It's not like something you have to do all the time, right? I'm using that simple metaphor. Once you've picked a shirt, you don't have to walk around all day. Yep, this is the one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, look, it's got lots of buttons. Yeah, okay. Let me see, what else can I? It's like you don't have to all day long remind yourself that you like this shirt. But you do in order to know it. You have to direct some of that attention there until you, in a sense, until that trust that I was talking about. Just that sense of like, oh, it's here even if I'm distracted. In fact, the flow of distraction is itself love.
So that's that backward step kind of. Right. But you were suggesting that we look and direct love out as well. Right.
It's sort of like, it's just play, right? Mm-hmm. And it's sort of like, you can just sit here and direct your attention back towards love, right? Or you can just start letting the love go like this, and guess what? It's out here where you can, where you experience it more. You have a fuller experience of it. The only purpose in that is not because it's better to have a full experience of it. Okay? The purpose of it is so that eventually you get it, that that's what you are. That that's what everything, that's actually the only thing that moves in the whole universe, is love. Then it can become more like the shirt that you've already picked to wear for that day, where you then stop thinking about it. Stop having to reflect on it, because you have this sense of that that's what you are, and also just a sense of your capacity for it. There's no reason really in any particular moment not to be filled with love. You have that capacity. Anytime there's a sense of like, oh, I wish I won, I wish there was more, I wish, anytime there's that sense that there's something missing, right? Just love.
There's something that wants it to recognize it without having to do anything. It's like, okay, no effort. Yeah. So, and yet, it's okay also that there might be some effort, less effort. It's sort of a funny.
In the absence of doing this, is there a lot of efforting anyways? In the absence of taking some, just some time, like I said, I'm not suggesting it has to be, something you do, every single moment all day long. But in the absence of doing this, are there other ways that you effort? See, often in the absence of actually having explored the capacity to just love for no reason, right? To be filled with love, again, from the inside, what happens is that it isn't actually then an absence of effort. What happens is all of the kind of habitual ways that we try to, it's like we're trying because of this like fundamental misunderstanding that we think love comes from things out there, that satisfaction, happiness, joy, all that stuff comes from the outside. We actually are working really hard to try to keep our attention on the things that we've learned sometimes give us that sense. Right? It's like it's suddenly really important what we experience. Like, oh no, there's that, there goes that thing in my stomach. Okay, I got to do something. I don't want to have that experience. Right? Or, oh no, there's that, my spouse or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or my mother or my brother, is starting to act that way. Right? It's like, this isn't looking too promising. Right? I need to have something else happen. So I'm going to start, managing the experience so that I can feel happy. See, it's even when we get when we think we get happiness from an experience, it's just because for a moment everything lines up and we just let the attention flow. Everything, the circumstances line up with our conditions. The person, have you ever notice how a lot of people have these really long checklists for their next lover? Right? It's like, well, they have to be this and this, and no, I'm not going to do that one again. All these things that they can't be and things that have to be, right? And, especially when you first meet somebody, it's easy to project most of the stuff on your list anyways, right? So you meet someone and at least the superficial stuff seems to line up, right? And so guess what? You start giving them lots of attention. Even when they're not there, you're giving them all your attention. Right? You're thinking about them all the time. So even when it seems like that happiness comes from something, right, it's actually just coming because we finally have let loose some of the ways we hold it back. So the only place where it's important to do this effort to love for no reason is if in the absence of that, there's all this efforting that actually squeezes it off. If in the absence of that, life just unfolds and you're consistently filled with a sense of joy and wonder at it, then yeah, there's no point.